In chapter 2889, the narrative focuses on Gary's desperate attempts to navigate her financial struggles and familial conflicts, driven by her aunt Brenda's manipulative advice and her own lingering resentment towards her sister Cameron. Upon returning to her rented house, she finds herself face to face with her aunt Brenda, who has been living there without her knowledge. Brenda's presence is explained by her dire circumstances and the overcrowding in her own home, which led her to temporarily stay at Carrie's place. The house is in disarray, filled with garbage and recyclables that Brenda had collected to sell for a small profit. This sight disgusts Carrie, who demands that the trash be cleared immediately. Brenda contacts a waste collector to remove the clutter and then turns to Carrie for financial help. She reveals that her family is struggling with no money left for food expenses. Despite her own financial limitations, Carrie reluctantly gives Brenda the cash she has on hand, lamenting that Trenton only provides her with $5,000 a month, contrary to their parents' request for $10,000. This amount barely covers her own expenses, especially after spending lavishly during her recent outings. Brenda inwardly criticizes Carrie for her frivolous spending, but outwardly thanks her for the money. She suggests that Carrie should approach Cameron for financial support, reasoning that as sisters, Cameron would not let Carrie starve. However, Carrie dismisses this idea, knowing how much Cameron despises her. Carrie harbors deep resentment towards Cameron and Serenity, fueled by her belief that they have wronged her. She fantasizes about a future where she can exact revenge, particularly imagining scenarios where she humiliates them in front of their loved ones. Brenda, ever the manipulator, proposes a different plan. She advises Gary to go to Waldridge Manor and seek out Rosella, Cameron's mother in law. Brenda believes that by appealing to Rosella for help and highlighting Cameron's neglect, Carrie can not only secure financial assistance, but also tarnish Cameron's reputation within her husband's family. This plan appeals to Carrie, who sees it as an opportunity to undermine Cameron and create discord in her life. Throughout the chapter, Brenda's actions and words reveal her true motivations. She is primarily concerned with the well being of her own family and sees Gary as a means to an end. The Chandler and Joyner families are both financially ruined, and they pin their hopes on Carrie to reclaim some of the Newman family property. Her fear is that if Carrie acts impulsively and ends up in prison again, their chances of financial recovery will be even slimmer. Thus, she continually advises Carrie to be cautious in her actions, emphasizing that fighting for the family property requires a strategic approach rather than extreme measures. Carrie, meanwhile, is caught between her anger and her precarious situation. Her impulsive nature and past mistakes have already cost her dearly, and she struggles to balance her desire for revenge with the need to avoid further trouble. Brenda's manipulations exploit this inner conflict, steering Carrie towards actions that serve Brenda's interest under the guise of familial support. The chapter ends with Carrie contemplating Brenda's advice, weighing the potential benefits of approaching Rosella against her own pride and resentment. Brenda's suggestion represents a cunning move to create a rift in Cameron's marriage, using Carrie as a catalyst. This plot underscores the deep seated animosities and complex dynamics within the Newman family, setting the stage for further conflicts and schemes.